Hey YouTube, thanks for checking out my channel. And today we're working on a 2007 Dodge Grand Caravan SXT with a 3.8. What I'm running into is a wobble situation at about 50 to 60 miles an hour, and it feels like it's coming from the right side of the vehicle. It's making a slight sound, and I've pretty much ruled out any kind of a ball joint issue or a strut issue. So I think it's going to be the outer tie rod end, which is not out of the ordinary, and they're not very expensive. So I'm going to show you what it looks like to replace that. Alright, so here's the vehicle that we're working on, and I've already got it jacked up, supported on the subframe. What I'm going to do is pull off the hubcap, loosen the lug nuts, and take off the tire, and then I'll turn the steering all the way to the left in this case, so I can access the tie rod end that's on the back side, and we'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so now with the wheel off, I haven't turned the steering all the way to the left yet, but this is the tie rod in here. You can see there's a jam nut here. There's the tie rod unit itself, and then underneath there's a nut that needs to be spun off to allow this to come out of the spindle. So what I'm going to do is, while this is secured, I'm going to loosen this nut here just slightly, ever so slightly, and then loosen this nut, take it all the way off, and then hammer here to release the tension that this has holding it in to the spindle. So let's go ahead and do that. I wanted to show you basically why you replace tie rod ends, and that's because you have a wobble whenever you're driving down the road, and that wobble may change whenever you're putting tension on the steering wheel, making your vehicle drift a little left or a little right. You'll feel it possibly wobble more in one direction more than the other. And as your vehicle's going down the road, the only thing that keeps it from wobbling back and forth is the tie rod end. I'm going to zoom in here so you can see this movement. The movement's going to happen inside of here when we move the spindle. And that movement is all it takes for you to have a high-speed wobble. In this case, it's over 60 miles an hour, 55 to be exact. So that's what it looks like, and that's why you need to replace them. Alright, so I want to show you what it looks like whenever you get your new part. It's going to come in the bag, and you're going to get a new nut, and that's going to go on this part here. And then you're also going to get a new Zerk fitting or grease fitting to be screwed into the tie rod end, so you have a place to grease it over the years to make sure that it doesn't wear out prematurely. I'm going to show you though, before you do it, before you screw that Zerk in, you may want to squirt some grease up in here so you don't have to do it through that little fitting. And I'm just going to put some grease all over inside here, and that'll get me started. What I'll do then is put the Zerk fitting in, and I'll probably pump one more or two more pumps of grease in there just to make sure that it's forced into the areas that it needs to be. But once this is all tightened up, you can slide this back on or screw this back on just the way it's supposed to, and then insert this in the spindle and tighten it down, and you'll be ready to go. But this is what it looks like, and again, the link's down below for this, so click the link, it'll take you right to it. They're really cheap. They're only about I don't know, $27 for these things, so not bad at all. Okay, so you can see I have a 7/8 inch open-end, boxed-in combination wrench. What I'm going to do is take my mini sledge then, and I'm going to hit this wrench just to break that nut loose. Okay, now I have the wheel turned all the way to the left. I've loosened this with an 11/16 inch socket to the point where this is going to come off. And you can see it's just a standard nut with a flange on it. Now I'm going to take my same mini sledge, and I'm going to hit this spindle right here until this pops loose, because there's just tension holding it in there now. And I might have to tap it a little here, but you're wanting to hit it mainly here all the way around in different spots relatively hard, and it'll break it loose. Okay, it only took about 5 hits, and I did it in a couple spots, and then it just popped out. And at this point you can take it on out, and now it's ready to be unscrewed off of the inner tie rod and the new one to be installed. Okay, so once you have this screwed off and backed off, this is what it looks like, and this is the area in which you're going to screw the new one on. This is why it's important to barely back this nut off. and that is to maintain the correct alignment, to get it really close. So you can drive it to the alignment shop and have them line it up once you've reinstalled the new tie rod in, because a new alignment is needed. If not, it's going to wear out the tires really fast and it's going to be unsafe to drive. So I'm going to get a new tie rod in. I'm going to screw it back on and reinstall it in the reverse order of what I just showed you, and that is threading this back on, placing it back into the spindle, tightening, torquing the nut back on, holding the ball joint to the spindle, and then taking this jam nut and turning it slightly back to where it tightens back up against the end of the tie rod, so the tie rod end, so it holds it in place, and it'll all be done. Just take it to the alignment shop and you're set. This was just a quick video. I wanted to show you basically what's involved. It's real easy, and it should only take you about 20 minutes as long as there's not a lot of rust involved. Thanks. Bye.